Yo, what is up?
What's groovy? Is my camera
What's
going?
going down?
Having trouble with my camera. Give me 1 sec. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know why, but my camera is tripping.
That happens sometimes.
This is the weirdest shit. I've never once had trouble with this thing.
What type of camera are you using?
This is some little Microsoft HD camera, nothing fancy. But I've been using it for fucking ever. I just used it literally last week. But that shouldn't affect my camera at all. It's not. It's just not. There it goes. It starts and then it stops for some reason. That is so weird. All right, I'm gonna try with the house camera. Let's see if that works. This thing does not want to give me permission to use a camera at all. It won't even use my onboard camera, my desktop camera.
Oh, you gotta love technology.
That can't be right. I'm saying I literally just
Are you?
did CJ. I just did CJ Witch Face podcast just last week, and I didn't have a problem with that. Where it says video input, it's telling me none. Maybe I had a mirror camera. Is that affecting it? No. Need help. None of this shit is what anything closer. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I fucked around and closed the damn window, but somehow I'm still in this thing with you. That's crazy.
Oh,
Like, I think I had something else open. That might be what's blocking my camera. So I'm trying to close everything now.
yeah. Jeff was having an issue, but Jeff is in the mountains right now, apparently.
I'm in a hospital, but that shouldn't have anything to do with my camera. This is fucked up. I've never had this problem before. This is so weird.
No, you're all
Yeah,
good.
I say that all the time. I
No,
say that all
Jeff.
the time.
Jeff just texted me. He's like, "I'm gonna try to hop on when I can get a connection." Cause he in.
He's in the mountains. Is he on family vacation or something?
I think he's picking
Oh,
up his son or something like that.
Um, hey, hey, to have you made the trip to Michigan to
It's not even letting you do it from your computer. Is wild.
Yeah, it's not. So it's a little thing that's telling me, press V. It's weird when I plug in there's a little blue light on my computer that lets me know
Hmm.
when the camera's on. The blue light comes on. Okay, it says it's connected.
And it usually will start with you being like you got to click the camera little button at the bottom. 'Cause- and this they'll probably start you off with not on camera. So the little camera button at the bottom. Click it when you do get in. When you do see. Fucking
Damn it! Ignore that.
okay.
Hey, I'm gonna exit out of this and try to jump back on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
What up, y'all? We'll get started soon. We're just doing the Olympics recap. So there we go. So yeah, we're doing the Olympics recap. There was too much going on at the Olympics tonight. That was a good Olympics. Interesting to have the pass on to the next. Like that they do that. I knew that they were gonna choose freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is kind of annoying. All the LA artists that you could utilize for that, it's just so stale. I'm sorry, I'm not. I used to be a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. I like some of their. I like their older stuff. And when I say older, everything. I'll even give you Stadium. Wait, no, I rocked with the two albums with Josh Klinghoffer, um, and then the ones with the new Frashante, with Frashante back. I haven't felt those. They kind of picked a different. I mean, I guess they're the most LA artists ever, but it just seemed. I don't know. I guess there's could have been more interesting choices. There's so many LA artists now, but yeah. So that was the end of the Olympics. The handing off to LA. Uh, Paris, France looked amazing. It was a beautiful thing. And yeah, we'll see if Excel is able to hop back on or what. So in the meantime, I'm going to you know, go ahead. There we go. There's Xavier.
I figured out what the fuck happened.
What's up?
Hey, am I allowed to say fuck?
Yeah.
When I initially try to log on, it comes up and it asks me for access to my camera, and I accidentally hit no.
Oh.
And I don't know. I couldn't figure out how the fuck to undo it. So I just had to restart my computer and come in fresh.
It be like that sometimes. It really do be
Yeah.
like
Am I frozen? Damn it.
No, wait, let me see. Yeah, you are. Move. Yeah, you're frozen.
Yeah. Uh, okay. Olympics recap. I like the logo. Are we live? Are people watching me right now?
Yeah, people are watching you right now.
Being frozen.
Yep.
Okay, man. I'm a
We
super
only
old
got
man
two
mode.
viewers though,
But
so you're all good.
hey, two viewers. I do know what I'm doing with this shit. I don't know why the fuck is doing this to me today at Northwestern Medical Center, but I'm gonna blame Northwestern Medical Center.
You can totally do that. You can blame whomever. You can this. Hey, hey, man. But how you
No,
doing?
you said Jeff is in the motherfucking mountains, huh?
Yeah, he's in the mountains, so he was like, "I'm gonna try to get back on when I can." I was like, "All right, Chief. All right, it's all good. It's all good." And I know he
Uh,
wanted to get on because he been talking shit about Jason Tatum this entire time. So
it's weird. Like uh, everybody was all on the Jason Tatum story. Nobody talked about Halliburton. Halliburton didn't play at all. Halliburton didn't play a single minute. The
Halliburton,
whole.
well, Halliburton didn't look like he cared if he played, and that don't
That's
mean
my
that in a
point,
bad
though.
way. Yeah,
That's my point, though. He understood the assignment. Like I feel like the only way that Tatum story becomes a story is I feel like either Tatum or somebody in Tatum's camp wanted it to be a story because other players, just other game, not this last game, but the game before that, there was a game that Derek White didn't play,
hmm
and my son, basketball player too. We watched the game and there was a shot of Derek White on the bench and we both had the same expression. It was early in the game and the way he was sitting on the bench, we both were like, "Oh shit, Derek White's not playing at all this game," because he was very comfortable on the bench. He wasn't working up a sweat. He didn't look like he was engaged in the game. He looked like he was trying to get a hot dog.
yeah, yeah,
but so but he just accepted it. Like he's like, "Oh, this is a game I don't play. Okay,
yeah,
cool." He was very chill about it.
yeah. I first off, like when it's your first Olympics and you know you're gonna be back again, like that was the thing that like that's what I appreciate about like Tyrese Halliburton, and I appreciate with the rookies in the WNBA who are like, dude, this is my first year. Like I'm not tripping if I don't get to the Olympics that's going to be in LA the next time that you know what I'm saying. Like um, I just think that you know Jason Tatum. I don't know what it is, but he has really annoyed a lot of people.
It's something about him, man. He gives. I am not comparing him to Drake and the whole pedophilia thing and all that stuff, but that energy of he doesn't seem authentic to the. There's something about him that people don't like, and it
Yeah,
can't be a coincidence that just everybody everybody immediately was ready to jump on Jalen Brown's side, and people don't like Jason Tatum, and I don't know what it is. He just seems phony. Even his celebrations, where I don't know, maybe he was doing an homage to like all his favorite final
yeah,
celebrations. But there was a clip in the finals. I don't, if anybody who hasn't seen it, there's a bunch of memes of him basically doing. He does the Kobe, he does MJ, he does the KG from when the Boston won in 2008. He does the exact same things that they did when they won the championship, like their reactions to winning.
yeah.
And yeah, the shit seems phony, man. It seems fake. Like, but unless he comes back and says, "Oh, I want to do an homage to like everybody," but a lot of people took that as being phony, not as a tribute. It was like, come up with your own shit,
Yeah,
experience your own way.
yeah, yeah. And I'll say this much that the blowback that he gets for that is the same blowback that LeBron James has gotten for some of the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I get people being like, "Oh, like," because I saw people saying like, "Why are people hating on him?" And I'm like, dude, it's not necessarily that they're hating on him, but it is kind of like gratuitously um him not parroting but parroting what has already been done, and LeBron James does that a lot too.
Yeah.
Like he does. It may not be in the basketball sense, but in other things, I see that a lot. So I get it. I think it's fair. And if you're gonna be the head guy, you're gonna be that dude from the Celtics that just won and all that type of stuff. You're gonna catch something. You know what I'm saying? You'll have
Yeah.
the best record of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like you gonna catch something. Like you
I
know.
I don't know what it is, but there's a thing about authenticity. Because I was just trying to think of, like, because sometimes people think I attack LeBron and stuff. Um, but MJ copied Dr. J,
Yeah,
but when he did it, everybody thought it was cool. There were people who's like, Dr. J did that junk first, and everybody immediately was like, yeah, he was clearly doing a tribute to Dr. J. Like nobody thought that Michael was stealing the
yeah,
Dr. J junk. They thought it was like, oh yeah, shout out to Dr. J, right?
yeah,
But when somebody like LeBron or Tatum does it, their something about the energy, which the way they do it feels like they're stealing.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't feel authentic, and I don't know why.
All right, so the men's basketball team, they went ahead, they won gold. The women's basketball team, they won gold. I'm pretty sure we expected that for both, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a lot closer than I think we expected for the men. That semifinal game got hot for a second.
Well, the
Um,
finals game for the women got hot.
yeah, I mean that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I did not see the finals game for the woman. Who did
Oh,
they
they
play?
played
France. They
horribly
played France,
badly.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't play well, to be quite honest. Bad rotations too, but they
There's what? There's probably out there fucking all of France the night before celebrating because they knew they was gonna win. Um, I'm just saying they've been dominating for so long.
yeah,
If you're under 32 years old, you've never seen the U.S. women team lose
yeah,
in basketball.
yeah. The other thing too is a lot of them have played international ball. So they a lot of them knew their competitors, played with the competitor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a little bit different for the women. So they're constantly playing um against the people who they see in the Olympics more so than you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
because a lot of them do
All right.
play overseas. Yeah.
All right. Here is a whole um not loving basketball wives side of the WNBA / women's basketball that we don't really get to have with the NBA because there's no out gay couples or anything in the NBA, but there are plenty of women who mess with other women on other teams and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any international booty connections? Is there any chances that maybe a couple of Americans was hooking up with a couple French players, and that's why we was out there looking bad because they didn't want to do nothing bad to their
Nah,
boo thing, because that's happened in the WNBA. That's happened in the WNBA. When
I
people don't.
I think that what really happened is I'm gonna keep it real. I think that the US team was out partying.
Yeah, I think it was too.
I really think they were like because didn't the men's won theirs what last
The
night,
day
right?
before. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the day before.
I guarantee you they were turning up with them. Because they've been
Yeah.
kicking it with each other this whole time. So like, I just think that they end up turning up. They was like, we got tomorrow. Like they didn't even play. They didn't even play their best, to be quite honest. And they eked through. Like it, they didn't. Like if you watch that game, that was not their best game, and they still eked it through barely, but at the end. And so like, I just think that, honestly they were out partying, and they probably were like, dude, like we ready to go. Um, like like after all of that, like this is a long like watching it. I'm like, damn, this has been long. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, um, and so yeah, that was my take on it. Was there anything that was surprising to you, or anything? What was some of your favorite memeable moments that came out of this
The
Olympics?
whole Olympics.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's a new race that they just started in the last Olympics called the 4x400 mixed.
Mixed. That's
where
dope. Yeah,
it's
I like that.
yeah, it's two
Yeah,
women, two dudes,
yeah,
right? And so I had never they just invented this race. I'd never heard of it. Uh, so the first time I see it, the U.S. team sets a world record
Yep, I
in the
watched that.
first race.
Yep, yeah, I
Yeah, they
watched it.
destroy. You want to go through there, man? They destroy the other teams. It's like
Mhm.
the last runner, the last woman for the U.S. team was so far ahead that the other people weren't even in the frame.
Yeah,
like when when you cross the finish line. So
and two of
I
those
had an
women were in the
expectation.
women's. Yeah, the women's
Yeah.
4x4.
And so, yeah, so I'm like, oh, we dominated. So when we get to the final, I'm like, my son didn't see the semifinals. He didn't. I'm just bragging about, man, they set the world record. This is cope. This is dope. You know, he was a track. He did track. He did shot put and discus,
Mhm,
but he also ran the 4x400 once, just once,
mhm.
because that's all it takes to make you never want to run that shit again.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Spreading the whole
and
lap. Yeah,
we were all excited, and we sat there and watched it, and we watched the Netherlands run our ass down.
down. Yeah,
uh, it was brutal. It was
yeah.
brutal. That chick, that long-legged
Empty.
white lady, dogged us out, man.
Yeah, she. You know what's funny? In in their semifinals, the Netherlands was also in that same semifinals, and no, they were in a different semifinals. I saw their semifinals, and she did the same thing. She did that for the women's 4x4, and she did that for the mixed 4x4, where she's known to be the last leg, and she will run you down on that straightaway coming out of that corner. And so yeah, like that shorty, man, and them long
Yeah, she,
slides and legs she got, bro. Yeah,
yeah, it's super long legs. Hey, by the way, I'm not 100% sure why, but uh, the system hates my camera.
no, you good.
The whole time we've been, I'm telling to anybody watching,
Yeah.
I have tried to fix, I had tried to fix it, and the system doesn't want me. So you just got my voice here. I'm sorry, y'all can't see my pretty face. Uh,
But
uh, yeah,
yeah,
the
Netherlands.
4x400
Yeah.
stuck out. China uh did we tied China for with gold medals. We dominated in medal totals by a lot, but in total gold medals, we got 40. China got 40, and I feel real proud of that because China got 4 times as many people as we do, and so that's really like we got times four on that, because if we had more people, we'd have just took it all.
AG. Honestly, you know where China really annihilated the US? Diving.
With Yeah, I saw that. I
Bro,
saw that. The
like,
dude that the dude that was a CODIS just had his shoulder, like he just had shoulder surgery or something like that. And apparently, like he wasn't supposed to be back yet. And nobody told him because he was in there splashless.
yeah, yeah, bro. They were like, oh, we can't believe. I'm like, dude, do you think the Chinese aren't going to be good at precision and synchronization? Like it was there, like you would watch the synchronized diving and it looked like one person. They were so in sync. It was
I,
ridiculous, G. Like it was like I can't even their divers are so good that by the time they got to their last dive, they would mess up, but it didn't even matter.
yeah,
Like
because they were so far ahead.
of it. Like one of them. It became they were just like, so who's gonna win silver and bronze because there is no overcoming. It's like, bro, like I think
I,
that's where they annihilated the U.S. The U.S. was man. They had shout out to Olympians. I'm not one to say anything about that 'cause I'm not at that level. But keeping it real, American diving was getting rocked, bro. It was getting rocked. Like, I don't know if it's the American individualism that we don't understand synchronization or what, G, but like they was getting rocked. I'm like, US, the Britain, Mexico was killing them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, damn.
So I saw a clip of the Chinese synchronized diving. that literally like you watch the clip and then the person puts a caption up that said, "I had to watch this 3 times before I realized it was 2 people." And when you watch the clip, you can't tell it's 2 people. Like
Yeah,
when they said it, I was like, "There's 2 people there," and then they show the full clip of them after the splash coming up, and it's like, that's insane. That's insane to have that level of synchronization that from the side angle you can only see one person.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now
That
I didn't get into that. Have you seen? Did you see artistic water dance?
AG. Yeah, I did.
That shit. You know what that? You know how that became an Olympic sport? Cheerleaders were pools. That's all it is. Is it's cheerleaders with
Essentially,
pools.
yeah.
It's the same moves as cheerleaders do. They just figured out how to do it while swimming.
Yeah, it's dope. I watched maybe a couple of them, and I was like, I don't need to see any more of this. Like,
Like it's athletic as hell, but it also seems like a really weird, and all of y'all got to be rich because where the hell did y'all practice this at? Like this doesn't seem like a sport that Ethiopia is ever going to challenge in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And that's not distant Ethiopia. They don't like where the fuck they gonna practice at. It's not.
yeah. Like, I mean, like the swimming events, and that's the other thing. I'm just gonna sit up here and be real about the swimming events. My G, I really feel like they have so many swimming events because that's what white folks is gonna win the most at. I'm just saying, bro. I'm not even bullshit. I'm like, there's a gazillion swimming events,
Pew pew
bro.
pew pew. I just saw a comic make a comment about that they were like people give Michael Phelps like all his credit and says, "Oh yes, 28." He's like, they have 28 things because they have so many different swimming events. Like you have a different that would be like having a 100-meter dash and then having a 100-meter skip and then having a 100-meter hop and then
Right.
having a 100-meter,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, G. Like it's kind of ridiculous how many like like there had to be a swimming committee or somebody that was like, people don't really watch our shit, so we gonna run it at the Olympics, G. Like we are going to be the mainstay. Because any other time, like I kid you not, if there's a invitational for track on, I'll watch that. Do you get what I'm saying? If there's like I've seen, we'll get to the breakdancing in a second, but I've seen like dance battles and stuff like that. But when it comes to swimming, G, watching niggas swim laps, I get it. It's amazing. Yes, they're talented. They, whatever.
yeah.
But
End of the day, you watching niggas swim laps.
yeah, like I'm just like, and I get it. It should be on par with like sprinting, right? But it ain't. Not for me. I'm just like, I just don't.
Oh,
It just don't do it for me.
also, they kind of messed it up this year in that, like, even though the races that could have been exciting, they were they were trying to show like how fast the people were swimming in each lane and stuff like that. But it would be confusing because sometimes the person who was in third or fourth place was actually swimming the fastest because they kicked in later or something like
Yeah,
that. So, but and the way they were angled, you couldn't tell. Like, wait, that person's swimming faster. Are they in? No, they're not in the lead. But
yeah.
it was weird. They should have just put like first, second, third. That would have been perfect. That's all I really cared about.
Wait,
But
gee. What had me rolling was me and my homegirl watched the Olympics. We was blowed watching the Olympics, right? We often edible. They do because the United States is trying to regain. Like they got their woman swimmer with Ledecky, right? But they was trying to hype up a guy to get their. You know how they always want a story or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
And so they chose this dude named Dressel, right? And this buddy was like,
yeah.
yo, been through a lot, what I'm saying? He's talking about his mental health and all of this stuff. And, he was talking about coming back to doing, swimming, and he had taken a break and he had a kid and his wife and all this. And and they were like, "Oh, he had won the gold at I think Tokyo or something like that." And so like I'm like, okay, so they're doing all of this build up, and he talking about like, and he had one of those like, and I'm, if I've said this about this buddy, and I feel bad for saying this, but like the way that they aired that package, and then to watch this nigga lose, like
Oh, the look on his face too. He looked like he
bro,
thought he was supposed to win. He
yeah.
looked like he looked. Yeah, wait a second. What?
And so then, you know how you got to playoff shit after you lose? Like he's just like dapping up people in the water, like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And so then they were like, oh, he has another race. And I was like, oh, well, that's good because he just botched that. And so he's still smiling, feeling good. He had two other races, right? So I was like, you know what? Let me follow dude. So I watched his next race. He lost
Same.
that bitch too. And I was like,
Same.
okay. And then this time when he took off his goggles, the look in his eyes, I just looked, and they showed a shot of his wife and his baby. And I was like, man, maybe she should get on a flight now. Like, leave,
Yeah.
leave now, G, because he looked like he was ready to snipe somebody. I'm not lying. And then he realized I think he was on camera, so he kind of smiled and swam off. So I was like, all right, it's all good. So then they were like, oh, he has two more races. He has a relay and he has another race. And I was like, all right, now you the first two. Let's just say this nigga did not walk away with a medal. Like
At
at
all.
all. Like at all. Like that should be his last Olympics. They did this whole package on this whole, like it was like watch a whole little documentary on Buddy.
One of the best parts about this Olympics was finding out how many countries can't fucking stand America. Like not that they don't like America in general, but like Australian swimmers.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was on an interview. They beat us in like a world championships or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, I was just happy to be on the podium and not hear that fucking Star Spangled Banner for a change. And so a lot of what we're talking about, like that came out of swimming, these other countries, they were on a mission to beat the United States because the United States have been dominant in a lot of those sports, swimming being one of them for a long ass time. Phelps,
Mm-hmm.
and then after Phelps, I forgot that other guy who was, the number
Lockheed.
two to Phelps, and
Lockheed.
who? Yeah,
Lockheed.
yeah, yeah, Ryan Lochte, yeah. And so now they're coming in with this new crop, and they thought they was just gonna keep dominating in the rest of the world. It's like, nah, we tired of this shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got water too, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
We coming.
Yeah. And I see the I'm gonna also say this. What I liked watching about, like, they can talk about closing borders, but a lot of them migrants ended up with kids that ended up on your Olympic teams that ended up winning medals for y'all. I'm like, oh, this black person's from Germany. This black person is from. I was like,
Man,
oh, they're from the Netherlands, but they're okay. This one is from, you know what I'm saying? Like, not even on some.
shout out to the white countries that won with white athletes. Y'all, it's not that many of y'all. It's not many of y'all keeping it real.
I'm not even trying to, like, for real, for real. I was like, Dad, bro, like, because I was like, damn, Great Britain's been kind of doing that thing in track. And then I looked at their team and I was like, oh.
Uh-huh. 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 Do you know that the French fans had the nerve to be upset with Joel Embiid because he's from Cameroon, which was a French protectorate,
Mhm.
and so they think he should be playing for Team France, not the USA.
Didn't he grow up in the U.S.?
No, I don't think he. No, I think he grew up in Cameroon. He still has
Oh,
a slight accent. He still has a slight accent, but the idea that he's like, no, we colonized you, not them. You should be playing for us, not America.
that's wild as hell, G.
Yeah,
Like,
that's so crazy.
like, okay, well, first off, I didn't know that he had any French ties to anything. I knew that he was African. I didn't know he was from Cameroon, and I didn't know he grew up in Cameroon. I thought he grew up like in the States or what.
I don't internet. If the two people watching, if you're googling this, I am not googling it because I'm being professional and I'm trying to be engaged here, so I'm not looking at my phone. But he has an accent, so he grew up someplace. He didn't grow up here. He sounded like he had come to America extra. So
No, I have
uh,
heard him speak or whatever, but sometimes mugs will be here for a long time and never lose their accent or anything like
yeah,
that. So,
he sound like Kermit the Frog if Kermit the Frog was from Nigeria. But
but yeah,
yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but in the game, in the gold medal game, they were booing Embiid every time he got the ball, every time he did anything. They were booing him because they were mad that he's not playing. Also, it's stupid for them to be mad that he's not playing for Team France. Team France is all centers. Like the whole fucking team is just a bunch of 7 foot dudes. What the fuck would Embiid do on the team? He'd be like the third center on the squad.
yeah, and the other well, yeah, there's that. But the other thing is this is I actually did look up the shit real quick, and he attended the school in Gainesville, Florida. Uh, yeah, it's in 5-star recruit. So he went to high school here for sure, and
Oh,
went to college
okay.
here. Yeah, and played college here. And he actually, it says, he started in soccer and volleyball and wanted to be a professional volleyball player.
And then somebody showed him the checks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah. And actually, I
I
think the
mean,
U.S. had a team had a volleyball player that used to actually be in the NBA, and then he retired or something happened, and he ended up like being
I
like,
think
okay,
he was Australian.
okay,
It was a big, tall white boy, Chad something. Chad
okay,
Pennington. No,
yeah.
that's a football player. That's a football player. It was
Yeah, I
something.
don't remember what happened. I just remember he had played in the NBA, and then they were like, "Why don't you?" Because he got released or whatever, and then they were like, "Why don't you come and play in the um play volleyball?" Because it's still you need that same type of frame that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
I think he was like an amazing volleyball player, but then, much like Joel Embiid, looked at the paychecks of playing basketball and chose basketball over the other sport.
okay,
So
so
he
let
went back to it. So I think like him playing on the Olympic team was him going back to another sport that he just already was really really good at too.
all right, G. So uh, let me ask you this on some you know other stuff. Would you did you get caught up in looking at like I saw so many people post about how fine the athletes were,
Uh,
and I was like, yeah, have y'all not been watching the Olympics previously? What is the sport where you just watch and be like, damn, they fine? Like, did you catch yourself at moments doing that with any
so,
sport?
so it was actually really early in the Olympics. It was like day one or day two. I was watching um, field hockey. And if you know anything about field hockey, at least American field hockey, the U.S. field hockey team looked like a bunch of really athletic Rosie O'Donnells. And I like Rosie O'Donnell, not nothing against Rosie O'Donnell, but that's what they look like. They look like Rosie O'Donnell if she was really athletic. That's
Yeah,
what our team
they
looked like.
made the rugby
However,
team look super film.
but we were playing um, Venezuela,
Hmm.
and Venezuela's field hockey team was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
Was gorgeous. I
yeah,
was like, and I was literally like, how Venezuela, very racist country, but
yes.
also but also they're hot. And so they're hot enough that you know what? They could be a little bit racist. I'm not taking Venezuelan chicks off the table just because they
Shit,
might
they
be a little
probably
bit
don't even
nasty.
want to
'Cause,
go home right now. As
yeah, fair.
Venezuelans, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
some
they eating.
girls, I'm like, they might not hop the plane back, G. Like, like
Yeah, They eating good in the Olympic Village.
Like some of them might not hop the plane back, G. Like I saw the
Uh,
Nigerian shorty. Like this is all the wild stuff that I saw during the Olympics. I saw a Nigerian shorty. Now I don't know how Nigerians don't have enough money, but they didn't buy her. You know the speed bike event where you're on that track and you have to have a very specific bike to
yeah,
actually. Nigerian.
dude.
She came with the. They didn't buy her the bike. Nigeria would not
She did
buy.
not come. She did not come with a regular bike.
And so
She was not out there with a swing. KB, you not finna tell me
he
she
was
was
not
out there
out
with no
there with us.
with no Huffy.
But first off, my question is Nigerian, I got Nigerian homies. I know y'all are some hustlers. Why don't she got a bike? The second thing is sis borrowed Germany's bike. She is borrowing somebody else's bike to race, G. Like, that's
That's
wild as hell.
insane.
That's wild as hell. Like y'all, how did
Uh,
y'all even send her on a plane and be like, hey,
figure it out. Hey, we
hey,
gonna send you there.
when you get there, ask one of them if they can let you. You remember back in the day when your parents would be like, "Don't let nobody ride your bike." If I see somebody,
Yeah. Oh, Germany gonna have to explain when they get back. What do you mean you let her ride your bike?
yeah, I was like, bro, like that's janky. That's janky, Nigeria. That's janky.
But
Like, why?
shout out Germany for coming through to the rescue because
Mhm.
that's insanely generous. Those bikes are calibrated for the riders. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That shit is like exactly how the rider wants it. That's not just like a bike off a rack. That is a specialized bike. So
Well,
to
actually,
let's
there's actually an Olympic rule that they have to buy bikes that everyone can have access to. So, like, you can't.
oh, I did not know that.
Yes, for that specific event, you can't. But the thing is, how they get around, it's really a wealthy man sport, essentially, a wealthy person sport, because what they do is that they made it to where like the company that makes those or companies that make those type of bikes will make it so expensive that a lot of countries won't be able to afford it. Their riders won't be able to afford it. Like those bikes, I'm pretty sure start at between 20 and 25,000. And but nonetheless, I know Nigerian princes stay in people's inboxes getting bread. Y'all didn't want to like fundraise a little bit for sis to be able to ride a bike. And then the other thing is I know Germany was probably like, dude, like if you don't got the bike, why are you racing? Like, like they probably was thinking like she ain't gonna do shit on this bike anyway. So we not worried about her. You get what I'm saying? Like we not worried about it because and bro, this is a speed racing bike. And sis was riding it. She was riding it like a swing. I was like, dog, that's not how you ride those bikes. Cause you know,
so, so wait a second. So they didn't even send like a speed racer. They just sent like a bitch that knew how to ride a bike.
yeah, basically. Like, dude,
Oh,
there's
that's
so
hilarious.
many. Dude, a lot of these countries is janky. Like the buddy that did the wall climb for Iran, he was like, "Oh, they wouldn't give me funding for it, so I had to build a thing in my garage." And he showed his whole like work. I'm like, bro, like Iran oil money, y'all not like this. Like, how you gonna send these motherfuckers to represent your country? And be like, nah, we not paying for that though. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. Some motherfuckers saw Algeria paid for a trans woman to box. Like that shows how stupid Americans are, how
Yeah,
bad Americans are. We don't understand nothing that's going on in the world.
we don't.
Uh, the I don't I the woman boxing thing. Before I even considered the Algerian part, before I considered the Algerian part, I was just mad because the bitch had been boxing for a while and had lost some fights. So even if she was a dude, she wasn't that good.
Yeah,
She had lost like 8 fights. Like
nine
if you
fights.
lose 8 fights, 9 fights, if
Yeah.
you're a fighter and you got 9 L's, you don't
Uh,
have an advantage.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have an advantage.
It means that you're beatable because a lot of people's records, like a lot of those undefeated records, it depends on where they're fighting and what committee they're fighting under. But for Olympic boxers, that's kind of a lot of them have losses and stuff like that. Because and if you see her boxing style, you see why she's not like a knockout queen at all. That was the other thing that I was like, dude, like she hits, but she's not a knockout queen. Like if you've watched her boxing, she lost in Tokyo. I don't know.
Hey, I can't remember the cat's name. I can't remember brother's name, but he in a very eloquent, in a much more eloquent way than I'm about to say it. He was like, "Hey, look, I don't know anything about this woman's gender. There's some science to it that I don't understand. I'm not speaking on it at all. But I will say this: I watch a lot of sports, and if you're a boxer, if you're in a sport where you're going to get hit, the Olympics is probably the place you're going to get hit harder than you've ever been fucking hit before.
Yeah.
Like if there's going to be like everyone's like, I've never been hit that hard before. Bitch, you at the Olympics. These
Well,
are the best people in the world at hitting motherfuckers.
gee, and that was the other thing too. I was like, Shorty, like that's not her first career. Like the thing with boxing is that and the thing with the Olympics, and it showed with Australia's breakdancer, is that some of these countries just need a body. They don't
Yeah.
like it's a like what I started noticing was like when people was like, oh, like you shouldn't be critical. I'm like, no, don't be critical of like the ones that are like you can tell that like man they just had an off race or do you get what I'm saying? Like damn, like you know what I'm saying? Be critical when a country sends a garbage the break dancer from Australia. Who the fuck did she beat to get there? Who? Who did
what
she
was what
who
was the
did she
criteria?
compete against? See, like, and that's with the Shorty Carini. If you look at her fights, she she don't like to get hit. She don't want to get hit. She don't want to like she'll take a fall early. You know what I'm saying? Like they showed clips of her in previous bouts tripping over her own feet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's she just is not about that life. She does not really want to be a boxer. I've seen these type of girls where they want to be like the tough girl until they got to be the tough girl, and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't want to get hit though. Nah, bitch, this is what you signed up for. Like if you didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I feel
I know
like
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, I feel like Italy just she tried to be the I'm the tough girl, and then they threw her ass in the ring, and she got worked. Like it's not a it's not her first time. It ain't gonna be her last time. She need to retire. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not that. You're not a boxer. You're not. You know what I'm saying? Like so. I just think it's that. You know, like she's you know. All right, so I'm just gonna say this because I already brought it up. What did you think about breakdancing at the Olympics?
I I'm actually hella disappointed because the entire time I have been expecting I expected the exact opposite of what the main story is. What was it, Ray Gun? I think
Yeah,
that breaker's name
and
was.
mind you,
I
there were some
expected
dope breakers in there though. There, like
who
it
won?
was.
Who won?
What'd you say?
Who won? Who won the gold medal?
For women, Dominica from Lithuania.
Lithuania won.
Yeah,
So I'm mad. I'm mad
and I
that
think for the
America didn't.
men, I think Japan won.
Now Japan, that makes sense. I was expecting Japan or Philippines.
That's
I
what
was
I said. I
expecting,
said if the Philippines don't take breakdancing, the Jabberwockies is fired. G, like what?
yeah, I expected the Philippines and Japan to represent real hard.
And actually, one of
Lithuania.
them represented the U.S. One of the Jabberwockies represented the U.S. So
Oh,
yeah,
word.
yeah,
Oh, we send in professionals.
yeah.
We didn't send in the rookie kids like you
Australia.
know.
Now I got to say, Nika. First off, Dominica is a black ass name, so I'm a her and her do rag. I'm gonna let her slide because Shorty did that. Like people can say what they want about her. She only 17. XL, she was one of the she was fire. I'm not even gonna hate on it. I'm not even gonna hate on it. Like she was the out of the women, she was probably the best one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did they not have a team competition?
They did it, and that's what I wanted. That's the reason why I'm disappointed about the Olympics because I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like a breaker crew against breaker crew. Do you get what I'm saying? Like an
Yeah,
actual
that's the most obvious thing because yes, you can have an individual do like a dance or whatever, and that's cool. But like the real dope shit is to have a crew do, and it doesn't have to fully be like a full blown synchronized, but a choreographed routine is would have been doper. A choreograph a group of like 4 or 5
Mhm.
people or whatever, or maybe even more. I don't know. Shit, each country can pick their own size. I don't know what the rules got to be. I'm not a dancer, but
Their rules were interesting. Like it yeah, because it was like they didn't know what song they were gonna dance to. They couldn't repeat moves per round. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a very structured, like you know, and the scoring happened immediate. It was an interesting thing, but I would have liked to see, like you said, like a crew actually breaking. And I'm looking at the winners for the men. It was from Canada, but he's Asian.
so let me. I'm trying to understand the rule.
And then the U.S. took bronze.
So
Vince
I'm trying to
Montalvo,
understand
which I'm pretty
the
sure.
motivation. The motivation behind these rules. If you don't know what song you're going to dance to, are they trying to go to the original um, freestyle up, the freestyle battle
That's what they're
nature
trying to do. Yeah,
of hip hop? Which for that, I'll do a hat tip. I'll do a hat tip.
yeah,
Cruise could still be very insane with that too.
yeah.
Um, I mean, anybody who knows anything about hip hop, that was also a part. If you're old enough to be when the dance battles were still a thing, you had a partner, you had somebody that you and him or you and her had a routine
Hmm.
that y'all did, like the house party movies, Kid
Yeah,
and Play.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Everybody had that was real shit. Like it didn't happen quite like it happened in that movie, but
Hmm.
I 100% had dance routines with my homie Q and a couple of the other guys and the crew of my cousins and stuff where
Yeah,
we would do routines at parties and shit trying to be cool.
yeah. Well, the
So
thing,
that should be part of the Olympics.
yeah, I like people because I posted the break dancer from Australia making a joke, and I just said this ain't it, like, and essentially, and somebody was like, "Well, there's other break dancing, and you didn't," and I'm like, "Bro, I'm making fun of her. I'm not making fun of the event. I'm not making fun of the other dancers. I'm making fun of this shit because how is she representing breaking when I have watched bro, I've watched America's Best Dance Crew. Okay, like I've seen what these folks could actually do, and then you put that up there, and here's the thing. Here's where the Olympic Committee kind of fucked up is that like for an exhibition, a new release of an event like that, where people are already like, why is this in here? And then you go with logistics, who I've seen before. She is actually really good. She's from the U.S. She's from Cali, and then Ray Gun, who she battled, that was the first match. That was the first match that people saw of breakdancing, and then they immediately went, "This is the bullshit that y'all said that we just watch motherfuckers, you know, break records and they, hitting their dick with a pole." You know what I'm saying? And then we get to see, and we seeing Shorty doing advanced yoga moves barely as breakdancing. Like, no. And I thought that was just poor. I hate to say this, but like they would have been, and I don't, and it's not a gender thing, it's just knowing what people expect with breakdancing and what they're like getting in the psyche of the audience. They should have started with the men.
What do you mean?
They should have aired the men's preliminary, the preliminary heats first.
Ah, okay, okay,
They
yeah,
staggered it where the women were first and then the men were way later. So do you get what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and the advancement, and this is not a knock to women, it's just that the advancement of the sport hasn't, it's kind of like skateboarding. I don't know if you watch any of the skateboarding, but the skateboarding women, some of the best women in skateboarding are the youngest. And
yeah, yeah.
it's because the growth of the sport is happening with the youth, and so they're picking up the tricks, and they're doing, and they're not afraid of it because of the mentality of the sport changing to having more, girls in it or whatever. Same with breakdancing. These are like counterculture sports. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I think that like, because of that, I don't think it was the best thing to kick off an event that everybody was like excited and interested to see with ray gun. Logistics was, it was ray gun. It was like, dude, like, why would you, like, I know y'all have to see what the fuck this bitch was working with before she got into the Olympics, right? Like,
The only thing I can think of is the people on the Olympic Committee that saw that shit either are so out of touch with what it was supposed to look like, or they knew exactly what it was going to look like, and they knew that this controversy was going to run like this, and that's why they did it. Those are the only two options I can think of. They don't know how bad it looks, or they know it looks bad, but they know it's also going to get a tons of attention and press and conversation.
yeah, but it ended up usurping the actual event, is unfortunately, by doing
Yeah,
that.
it did. It did entirely.
Because if you watch the other ones, they're not that bad. They're nowhere near as bad. Like, no, like, you could clearly see how the athleticism that it takes to do to break dance. You know what I'm saying? So
Uh
like,
huh.
it was one of those things where I was like, dude, like, y'all. That's the reason why I said y'all, like Nitra said it. She's like, y'all really playing in our face, and that's how I kind of felt. Like, why would you put this up there? Like, I felt bad for logistics having to like dance against this shit. Like, I'm like, gee, you are actual. Like, I've seen logistics videos and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, I'm just like, dude, like, it's kind of bogus that Australia threw that up there. Like, Shorty bunny hop, G. Like a literal bunny hop. Like, that shit was wild. And all the other shit was fire. Like, all them other dancers got busy. It was just her. It was
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just her. Like, that was wild. That was Australia. You need your ass whooped for that.
I mean, it kind of made me feel like, sometimes people go to other countries to qualify for events because there's too many talented people in the country they're from. I might go to fucking Australia for 2028 and represent as a breakdancer, nigga. Get in shape and stuff because I could take that bitch, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the dudes can't be that much better. So
No, that was wild. Now we're about to wrap up our Olympics recap. We just talked about track and field, swimming, breakdance, and da da da. Is there anything else that really caught your attention?
oh, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Shooting.
Hmm.
Uh, there's two stories about shooting. Real quick, I'll start with the second
Yeah.
one first. The second one is everybody kept talking about how Americans didn't win shooting early on. Well, we wound up winning in skeet shooting. We
Yeah.
won in skeet shooting. We need moving targets, y'all. We need motherfuckers scrambling for the accuracy for the American style shooting to kick in. But the best part about the standing shooting, the standing there pointing at the target, there's two amazing stories. There's
Hmm.
this dude, I can't remember what country he's from, but he's from a small ass country. He
Hmm.
won a gold medal. He was literally like people have uniforms and all that stuff. This dude he was dressed like he got off work and was like, oh shit, is the Olympics today? Okay. Like people have certain stances and stuff when they do the shooting. He
Hmm.
looked like he looked like a dude that had too much to drink and was like, I done told you, stop talking crazy to me, and pulled his gun out. He did not look like a shooter. This motherfucker was an insane marksman. And it turns out that he did not train like the other fucking Olympic shooters and shit. As a matter of fact, he was just like literally smoking cigarettes in between the rounds. He go shoot, he goes smoke a couple cigarettes, chill, come back, go shoot, and that's like his whole thing. And he fucking won gold. And there's a woman, I want to say it was South Korea, who won either gold or silver, and she, she didn't have a gun to practice with in South Korea because guns are illegal there.
Yeah, I heard this story. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Go.
yeah. She it's like I heard somebody, I can't remember the creator's name, was like, the bitch freestyled it, y'all. She freestyled to a gold medal. She didn't even have guns to practice with.
Yeah, it's like um the stories of the Olympics is so incredible. Like there's so many stories. Like, from, Flavor Flav paying for the, water polo team to, just all of there's so many different stories that throughout you heard them and you're like, damn, that's pretty wild. But it's also like the thing that I took away from this is like a lot of these countries ain't shit. What I mean is it's like the athletes are amazing. Like the athletes did their part. And then I'm just thinking about like you just represented your country and you got to go back to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like just think like you know, Shorty just won for Algeria. You just won gold. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to go back to the bullshit. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? Like
I so here's something funny though. I agree with you about the bullshit in Algeria about all this stuff. However,
every country.
I
I'm
w-
not
I
talking
w-
about like there are certain countries. I'm like, yo, you just represented your country to the fullest, and these do not care about y'all at all.
No, yeah, that's what I say. I want to defend before we go. I want to defend Algeria because I don't know if you saw their threads and their Twitter. They had her back like a motherfucker.
Hell yeah,
They
they
were
did.
they were posting like
Hell yeah, they did.
children pictures of her. They
Yeah.
were dude. One of the first things they posted, it was the football club, the official national football team,
Mhm.
posted a picture of the Italian fighter, and it just said "Cry more."
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Algeria wasn't no punks. They stood behind her. I appreciate that. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is
But
that
she still got to go to the bullshit. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like and it's not just them. Like I was talking about Venezuela, like what's going on there right now? And to be like, oh, I gotta get on a plane. And then when I get back, I'm gonna have to deal, you know what I'm saying? Like a dictator who's getting overthrown, but he has military forces killing people in the street. And I just been chilling, eating baguettes, taking
And
pictures,
probably having a lot of sex.
and having a lot of sex, smashing, drinking. Like who? Like there are certain, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's niggas that competed for South, you know, for Ukraine. They got to get back to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like it's like, dude, and that's not Ukraine's fault, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things where it's like all of this fun, this joy, all their hard work and shit. It was cool to see Ukrainian, um, and the South Sudanese dudes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I love seeing those stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Luol Deng. He doing like,
Laker money.
yeah,
Laker money.
yeah, and yeah, it's just like,
The, the Bus family is funding a small African nation
fuck,
basketball.
that's the least they could do. Shit, that's probably the best thing they ever did. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I can't. We're gonna keep doing this sports show because I can't wait for this upcoming NBA season.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know we can have a conversation about it or whatever, but you know the it's gonna be a very interesting season for the NBA.
I agree.
Yeah, but seeing all of those stories or whatever has been, a cool part of the Olympics. It's just wild thinking about like a motherfucker thinking like man, this was it's like going away for summer camp and then realizing you gotta go back to the go back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, damn, like you gotta see them again. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a dope Olympics. What do you think about LA Olympics? Do you think we can top Paris?
Yes, because LA, Paris is very beautiful, but it's Paris. Like they motherfucking river probably just made all the triathletes sick because they were swimming in the pool river of the sands and stuff like that.
Well,
Like,
LA ain't got a river, so
yeah, well, technically there is an LA river. It's
technically, but it's a viaduct essentially. It is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I believe they will have better conditions for that. Plus, LA, the way LA is kind of spread out, and all the facilities that LA has, I think, and plus it's just LA, so they're gonna have a bunch of cool shit. So, I think it's gonna be dope.
You gonna go?
Uh,
You want to go? We should go.
Hell no, no, I don't want to. I don't like being anywhere near that many people from that's not from here. It's
Really?
yeah, it's just annoying trying to do anything. To go everywhere you try. LA traffic is already insane. To try to do LA traffic with the Olympics there, although I did see something today, literally early this morning. They said they're building something LA has needed for decades. They're going to build a bunch of public transportation to make it more feasible for people to get around LA for the Olympics. And if that happens, I might be interested in going because LA is it sucks for public transportation, and it would be great
It
to have
actually
some.
doesn't though.
Huh?
It actually doesn't. When I lived there, I took public transportation to work and all that type of stuff. It's actually been expanding. It's pretty expansive at this point. Um, so
Or
like
let me rephrase that. It sucks for public transportation in that nobody in LA that's from LA will actually take public transportation. I guarantee everybody that was on public transportation with you was from out of town. Out of town or immigrants.
no, actually, I think when was the last time you were in LA?
I haven't been to LA. I was in LA right before the pandemic, and then before that it was fucking a decade almost.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of expanding. Like you can actually get out to damn near Long Beach. As a matter of fact, you can get out to Long Beach taking the train. The expansion of their railways have been so incredibly like great that it's kind of created this the people there are appreciative of it. And I
Is it
worked
becoming a thing? Is it becoming cool?
the thing. A lot of people that I worked with were LA and Long Beach natives, and they were happy that they did not have to rely on sitting in fucking traffic to get to and from work. And it
That's
provided,
dope.
yeah, it
That's
provided,
dope. Because
yeah,
when I lived there, you would actually get laughed at just for. I got laughed at just for sitting at a bus stop. I wasn't even getting on a bus. We were like out doing field sales, and it was just a bench that me and a
mm,
coworker could sit at for a second, and we sat down for a second, and people were driving by laughing. And she was from there, and I didn't know. I was like, "What? Why are people laughing at us? Is there something like weird about us sitting here?" And she was like, "They think we're waiting for the bus." And I was like, and she just said it kind of nonchalantly. And I was like, wait, they laugh at people who take the bus? And she's like, yeah, you don't take the bus in LA. And I was like, what?
yeah, yeah. Their mentality has definitely changed, G. Because I took the bus and I took the train when I lived in LA to get to work, because there was no point in trying to drive to work, because I worked downtown LA and I worked in Long Beach. So it was like either sit in traffic and wake up earlier, or I can take the bus to the train station, which is like a 6 minute ride, and then get on the train and get to Long Beach in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
Like, yeah, like
Okay.
30 minutes. Yeah. Like more and more people there are taking public transit, and it's become so common. Number one, it is due to there is a lot of transplants there, but the people I lived in, you know, you know, I lived off of between Normandy and Western. I actually lived in South Central, and a lot of people there do have their cars, but like a lot of the younger generations, I would say millennial down, would take public transit all the time with like no shame, no, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
dope.
Yeah,
That's dope. I'm happy to hear it.
yeah. So it's
Well,
evolved, so it's all good. But we about to get out of here. Let us know where people can find you at XL.
XL Comedy Show on Instagram, and What Had Happened News on YouTube.
And you got any shows coming up?
Yes, I will be at the Comedy Bar on Tuesday the 20th. I will also be at Chicago Underground Comedy. And I was not prepared to have any other shows ready, but I will be
You
places other weekends too.
Yeah,
But
find
I
them.
will be at Underground on the 20th, and Comedy Bar.
Yeah, I'll link to your social media. So in the
I
comments.
appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. And XL, thanks for coming through, G. We're gonna do
All
another
right.
sports one, G. We're gonna
Thank you, and I'll have my camera right. I'll have my camera right next time.
You all good, bro. All right, take care. This been
I
offside.
appreciate you.
I'll let y'all later.